All right, everyone. Well, UFC 311 is wrapped and finished with. I went to bed last night. I was so tired. I just couldn't stay up to give the post-fight video then and do all the editing and stuff. It's about like 10:30, which for me is super late. Hey, I guess if I want to continue this, I gotta learn to stay up a little bit more. But making it up by starting the morning off with a video for you guys. Getting out and uploaded some more content for you guys. But anyways, here is my post-fight reaction to the card, post-card reaction analysis and breakdown here for you. All right, and so for our first fight, Tiger ended up winning. Let me pull up the actual fight card results because I have my picks winning here. Card results, so that way I can actually be as accurate as I can. Okay. Alrighty. Okay, so place that right over there. Boom, boom, boom. Alright. So we have Tagir Ulanbeka versus Clayton Carpenter. I ended up picking Tagir by decision or submission. And he ended up getting the unanimous decision. Nothing really of note, honestly. Um, I think Carpenter needs to again work on his wrestling defense, as do a lot of Americans going up against these Russian guys. So that's something Clayton Carpenter's got to work on. Anyways, a good win. Not even really that good of a win for Tykier. He should have subbed him. If I'm going to be completely honest with how much ground control time he had on Clayton Carpenter, he should have subbed him. Next, we have Bernardo Sopaj versus Riccio Turquoise. Now I had him by TKO or submission over Ricky Turquoise, and to be fair, he was piecing up pretty well on the feet. Ricky Turquoise had pretty much little to no answers for responding of any of the things on the feet for Bernardo Sopash. He landed a crazy, like, I think it's called a rolling thunder, or he kind of landed a rolling thunder ish on the last bit of a fight that actually connected and it looked like it hit pretty hard. But anyways, Bernardo Sopash, he gets the decision. Muin Gefurov versus Rinya Nakamura. Rinya Nakamura is just looked completely lost out there. Like he forgot how to fight, honestly. This is something I'll never understand with fighters who are losing a fight, and I get it. You know, they're respectful towards each other. They're all, this is a job at the end of the day. But if you're getting your ass beat and you're getting punched in the face, and then the other guy's going like, I got you, ha ha ha, and then you're like, oh, you got me, thank you, thank you. Let me shake your hand, thank you, thank you. Oh, let me give you a high five. Yep, you got me. Oh, yep. Don't acknowledge the strikes that hit you clean or anything like that. First of all, don't waste time shaking hands and being like, oh, yep, you got me. Ho, ho, ho. Like, punch that dude in the face if he reaches his hands out to you to shake your hand. This is prize fighting, okay? You're fuck honor. Fuck it. All right. I might contradict myself a little bit later and say, hey, where's the honor? Blah blah blah, and whatever. Some fight right now, but for my picks, there is no honor. You will eye gouge. You will kick in the nuts. You will do whatever it takes to win. Um, so yeah, just absolute disappointment by Rene Nakamura. Uh, Moving on, we had Alan Perez versus KO Rosa. Now I thought Alan Perez lost this fight. This was kind of a nothing fight, which I was kind of afraid of it was going to be. Um, I had Alan Perez by sub or decision. She ended up getting a decision, so another win for me. But unfortunately, Rosa kind of got robbed, if I'm going to be honest. The stand up was much better from her. She was kind of just pushing Alan Perez wherever she wanted around the octagon. When Alan Perez, I think she got like one or two takedowns. I can't remember exactly, but it was a very uneventful fight for the most part. UFC got what they want. They like Alan Perez twerking after the post fight, brings a lot of attention. So sucks for Rosa, but anyways, Alan Perez with the very uneventful decision kind of a robbery. 30-20. It was a 30. A judge had it 30-27 for her, which is just. I think the judges are blind sometimes. Also, I gotta realize when I breathe in and do that weird, that weird breathing I do. You gotta try to stop doing that. Grant Dawson, Diego Ferreira. Now, in hindsight, I picked Diego Ferreira because I didn't know he was 40 plus years old. I was really hoping that he was going to get an underdog, crazy TKO or decision or something because Grant Dawson would fail a bunch of takedowns. But Grant Dawson looked great out there. And, I think he's kind of made a fan out of me that last fight. He actually fought really well. I know people were booing him when he got top control for a little bit. And even the commentary was like, DC was like, any moment now, they should break it up and get him standing on their feet again. And like, look, I know they weren't the most devastating or consequential punches, but if another guy is punching and landing something on the other guy, regardless, like, you have to let him work. Even if they're like the softest little tiny punches. I don't care if he's slapping him. That's putting in work, okay? So guess what? He's got to hold him down there as much as casuals don't like that. And, you know, I'm not the biggest fan of holding down someone and grappling and stuff like that, but if you're doing something with it, either searching for submission or TKO or something like that, just improving your position even more to get that TKO, that's what we were doing. And then Grant Dawson was just he's posturing up and he's landing a good shot every now and then. Diego Ferrer was just this card had a huge problem with fighters accepting being on their back, and we'll get to Kevin Holland in a bit. But yeah, too many fighters accepting being on their back. Do not lock your legs around the other dude's body when you're on down. Like, do not play guard. This MMA is not something you play guard with someone on your back, and unless you're Charles Oliveira or some sort of jiu-jitsu guy where that's your absolute specialty, like Paul Craig. And even for Paul Craig, it doesn't work out most of the time. He still has to stand up and fight before he can get put to his back from the other guy taking him down or whatever. But anyways, Diego Ferreira lost. Grant Dawson gets the decision. I think it was 30-27 across the board. Bogdan Guskov get a second round guillotine versus Billy Alicana. Now, this Billy Alicana had the back of Guskov in the first round and did absolutely nothing with it. Just absolutely sold the fight, and I just can't believe that he would sit there the whole round on his back. Did a couple of across the face, things like that. But where is the urgency? Like, if you're on top of someone's back, he just looked very slow putting in things, and I don't know how, I guess, obviously the other guy's resisting, right? But I feel like in the first round, if you secure the back like that, you should be explosive enough and strong enough to secure a rear naked choke like that. But yeah, he kind of fumbled it a little bit. I did pick Bogdan Guskov by around 1 or 2 TKO, but he was just about to get it in round 2 until he decided, I'm just going to choke him. But the ref was letting that fight go on for too long at the ending there. Excuse me, a little burp there, but a little bit more than a little burp. But yeah, he was just pounding on him. He had him like against the cage. He was just giving him some uppercuts and shots. And the ref was just watching. He was just like, all right, well, he has to die in order for me to call this a TKO. So because of that, Guskov just snatched up the good old rear naked choke and got the job done. Next, we have Zachary Reese, another guy who stayed on his back for way too goddamn long, trying to land elbows from the bottom. And to be fair to him, he may have landed 1 or 2. But, what's this other guy's name? Azmat Betkoyev. That dude's going to be a problem in this division. He really is. I forget if it was welterweight or middleweight. I think it was middleweight. No, it has to be welterweight, I think. Either way, Zachary Reese was looking good on the feet. And then, I don't know if he either got taken down or slipped or something, but basically when he got to his back, he accepted that position. He was thinking, oh, I'm going to be one of the first guys to elbow get an elbow TKO from bottom position or something, because that's what it looked like he was trying to do. Just sitting there, and then Osmat Bikoyev just like, all right, you want to stay here, wrap your legs around me, I'm gonna boom, boom, and that's what he did. He just absolutely ground and pounded Zachary Reese to the point where Zachary Reese was sprawled out like this essentially after the TKO. Took him a while to get up too, so it was some powerful ground and pound. But I don't know what it is about fighters that don't understand that when you have someone on top of you and you're on bottom, they can use gravity, momentum, they can jump into it, and that's going to strengthen that ground and pound, 20-fold or whatever, 10-fold, whatever you want to say, maximum effort from that ground and pound. Um, and yeah, Zachary Reese just got his lights put out. I had him by round 2 TKO or KO, because I was like, you know what, maybe he lands a good shot, and he looked good on the feet. Why not keep it there? You look good on the feet. Why not keep it there? It'd be better to get knocked out on the feet than to be sitting on your back and get TKO'd, at least in my perspective. Maybe that's something he'll learn. But anyways, yeah. Osmat Bikoyev gets it done. Next we have Peyton Talbot. Peyton Talbot, absolute disappointment. I like to see a young fighter get tested, but also win. So unfortunately, Peyton Talbot didn't do two of those things. He did one of them, but he didn't do the other one, which is important, is to win it. Sean O'Malley would never. I'm just kidding. Yeah, you can't be. That was kind of a layup fight too for Peyton Talbot, if we're going to be honest. But Rayoni Barcelos was just the superior grappler that night, and that's what his game plan was: get on top. And to be fair, he was putting Peyton Talbot in a lot of submissions, and Peyton Talbot was doing a good job scrambling and surviving it. The issue was him getting put there and held there, and he did get beat, ground and pounded a little bit too. He didn't show much visual damage, but he did get ground and pounded a decent amount. He had some okay moments on the feet, but still was just like, he has a weird stance of like kind of like this or whatever, where he's ready to put his hands down to get the stop the takedown or whatever. But the problem with that too is like he wasn't getting much done on the feet either. He was landing a couple good 1-2s, a couple good counters. I think he rocked Barcelos like 1 or 2 times. But again, nothing enough to stop at Barcelos, and so that just allowed Barcelos to kind of do it. He kind of sunned Peyton Talbot a little bit, especially in the grappling exchanges. So we know what Peyton Talbot needs to work on. He's 9-1. He's still very young in the division. He still has a lot to do. He's only 26 as well. So again, he's a young buck. I feel like he's gonna come back. The UFC will probably lay him up against someone who's like coming off of a TKO loss or just a loss in general, so that way he can get back in the winning circle. But yeah, really sucks for him. Could have been a bit more hyped if he won. Would have been a slightly better card, at least in my opinion, because with Barcelos winning against Peyton Talbot, that's the issue with when the UFC sets up these fights like this. Now that he's beat Peyton Talbot, where does Barcelos go really? Is he gonna fight someone ranked? No, they're not gonna promote Barcelos like that. At least in my opinion, I don't think they will. But yeah. Anyways, unfortunate. Barcelos gets the decision over Talbot. Got to work on that defense. Got to work on stuffing that head down. And when you're in a single leg, get the whizzer. But anyways, now we're next to Reiner de Ritter, Kevin Holland. Another situation where a guy is accepting being on his back. Kevin Holland did not look like he even tried for this fight. I'm going to be completely honest. His stand-up sucked. His ground game sucked. All of it just sucked. I can't even say I still like him. Can I? Can I even say I still like Kevin Holland after a performance like that? and all the shit that he had building up to the fight and just being a complete idiot, being disrespectful to Rampage Jackson, you know, all the shit that he did with the talk about Reiner de Ritter, you know, one championship sucks and blah blah blah. Dude's eating his own words right now, and I think the smart thing for him to do would be to shut up actually, and to win a couple fights. Let's not go for 6 or 7 fights this year, Kevin. Why don't we go for 2 or 3 wins? Let's get 2 or 3 good wins this year instead of 6 to 7 sloppy performances. Kevin Holland, if he keeps this up where he just goes out there and is just blah blah blah, just do it. As much as Dana likes Kevin Holland, he will eventually let him go. Because at the end of the day, the UFC is about contenders. It's about people who want to fight for the belt, whose goal is to climb up the rankings, get in title contention, get in big spots and stuff like that. And if Kevin Holland's just going to be that guy where, yeah, you know, I just kind of like hovering around, you know, oh, I like opening up the main event, I like being the prelim headliner, which, you know, brings some attention to you. But at the end of the day, man, you know, in 2019, I'm 99% sure it's either 2020 or 2019. Kevin Holland, no, it's 2020. 2020 Kevin Holland would smack up this current Kevin Holland. 2020 Kevin Holland was on his way to fight for title contention in the welterweight division, or no, it was middleweight division. That's another thing too. Get out of the fucking middleweight division. This is not your weight class. Middleweight division is not Kevin Holland's weight class. He is much smaller than a lot of those guys. Those guys in middleweight are cutting from light heavyweight essentially. They're weighing around like 200 pounds. Kevin Holland probably walks around 185, 190 maybe. Just cut the weight. The weight is not that much, honestly, compared to a lot of other fighters. And you'd be a bigger, lengthier size for the division. We've already seen him at welterweight before, not too recently, and do pretty good. I think his only bad fight was against MVP and Wonder Boy. And those fights, again, bad IQ. Bad IQ. Oh, I'm just gonna stand up if I don't win. Hey, at least I'm a tough guy. You know, hey, at least I didn't try to take him down. Ha ha ha. Well, guess what, Kevin Holland? At the end of the day, what matters most is wins. Wins and losses, and you've been losing. And yeah, basically to break down the fight, a little bit of a Kevin Holland rant there, but basically to break down the fight, Reiner de Ritter drops him, and then he gets on top of Kevin Holland, and Kevin Holland, being the dumbass that he is, wraps his legs around Reiner de Ritter and tries to just again stay there. He just stays there, and he's getting on his back and he's joking around going, man, you're strong. You're really strong. Yeah, no shit, he's strong. He's cutting from probably over 200 pounds. Dude wants to win the title. That's what strong feels like, Kevin. Yeah, he is strong. And you're weak. So why don't you go back down to 170 and fight some people that maybe you'll have an advantage over because of your size and length and reach. The striking looked horrible. The grappling looked horrible. Kevin did not look like he wanted to be there. I think again he didn't take too much damage. It kind of looked like one of the like speaking from personal experience, I know when I've not wanted to be in a wrestling match, and I've wanted to just submit, get pinned, oh, I'm tired, stuff like that. That looked more than just like, oh, I'm tired and stuff. That looked like, you know, I wanted to get out of there. I wanted to give him any reason to get me out of there. And yeah, I can't see Kevin Holland winning his next one. Whoever they match him up against, I kind of hope he loses, honestly. I really liked Kevin Holland. Kind of bittersweet seeing his downfall. But yeah, anyways, Reiner de Ritter, I picked him to win. He got that submission like I thought he would. I think it was a rear naked? Yeah, rear naked choke, yeah. He got his back, and Kevin Holland just didn't defend hands at all. Do that. I don't know why it's being weird like that. Alright, now a fight I forgot about until it literally came on during the card. Jayton Almeida versus Sergey Spivak. I literally had to make the prediction. Well, maybe I made it like at the beginning of the week. Previously, and I just forgot about it because Jailton Almeida is just that forgettable. So I ended up picking Jailton Almeida by decision or sub, but I believe, yeah, he got the first round TKO. He actually looked good on the feet. After he got done with that grappling exchange, which was very boring at first because Sergey got on top and he just was kind of holding him there. Then when Jailton was getting on top, he was actually landing some good strikes. But when it got to the feet, Jailton landed a good 1-2, just started swarming Sergey, and Sergey could not keep up. Again, it's the common trope of big fat guy versus muscle guy at heavyweight. I think if you pick Sergey Spivak, you're maybe hoping he gets a submission off top or whatever. But unfortunately, you being that big and all, you'd think you'd know how to control your body weight on top of someone a little bit better. But Jailton Almeida, dude is, I don't want to say juiced out, but he looks juiced out, if I'm going to be completely honest. Like that, his chest is just so, he has such a big, like, popping out chest. It's hilarious. It's like his chest like pops out from his body by like 4 inches. It's just like a square pretty much. But yeah, anyways, Jilton Almeida, he gets the TKO round one. I had him by decision or submission any round, or just decision. But I'm glad he ended up getting the TKO. I hope he keeps working on his hands, because he had some good hands. And it looks like if John doesn't end up fighting Tom, they'll strip him and then they'll make Tom champion. And can ironically see Jailton Almeida being either his first or second choice for opponents for the title fight for Tom. But anyways, we move on. Jamal Hill versus Yuri Prochazka. Man. Poor Jamal Hill, man. I really like both the guys. I really do. I just wanted Jamal. Again, it's tough. Like I am so 50-50 with who I wanted to win. I ended up picking Jamal because Yuri's last fights have not been looking too good for him. But man, Yuri looked on another level tonight. I mean, last night technically. I am recording this the morning after the fight. So but anyways, Yuri looked on another level. His head movement, just perfect. Dipping to the sides. To the sides and backwards instead of forward, which Yuri was notorious for doing. He was literally eating Alex Pereira's body shots with his face. Yuri Prochazka he was on another level tonight, like I said beforehand. He did get some moments where he looked a little bit in trouble, particularly round two. I think it's kind of near the end of the round. Jamal landed a couple good body shots, and Yuri was keeping his guard a little bit lower to that right side of his body. Jamal probably should have kept working that body, honestly. But they went through some crazy exchanges. Both of them ended up Yuri being the better of the exchanges for the most part. He dropped Hill in the round one, and I thought it could have been over then. Yuri just wasn't able to swarm on him as good as he could at the, I believe, third round. Yeah, and Jamal Hill, he showed a lot of heart. He showed a lot of grit. A lot of people shit talking him just need to realize that dude was playing a villain to help sell tickets and help get you interested. He's not a bad guy whatsoever. And I really hate Alex fans who do this stuff where they have to rub it in someone's face. And I'm about to contradict myself because I'm about to rub the loss of Umar in his face, but that's because they deserve it. Jamal Hill has never been the kind to be like, best in the world, absolute best in the world, brother. No one defeat that. Or, I mean, he kind of talked like that, right? Let me rephrase this. So Jamal Hill doesn't deserve as much hate because he, not even necessarily playing a character, but he's letting himself be the guy who gets booed and being the guy who's antagonistic. And that makes a fight a lot more interesting than someone who's just all respectful, blah, 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 this, and like, oh, I love the guy and stuff. No. Jamal Hill allowed for this fight to become much bigger than what it was originally going to be because of how he helps build fights. even though he really doesn't like do that much crazy trash talking. Honestly, I don't know where the. I mean, ever since the loss to Alex, I feel like, his trash talk is like fairly reasonable. He's, fairly reasonable. I don't think it was anything to freak out over and really hate on him for. So I'm really sad that the fans are going to keep trashing on Jamal Hill because he definitely doesn't deserve it. He had a great fight against Yuri. Yuri just, better exchanges. He really improved. He really did. It was something that we were really, the fan base was nervous about Yuri not being able to get his hands up and, you know, defend punches, but you don't need to have your hands up if your head movement is on another level. And he did have his hands up on a couple moments where he was just like, "Hey guys, check this out." um, Commentary was being a little bit annoying with that because they're like, "Oh, look, his hands are dropping again." Well, dude, he's flowing. When he's flowing, he's gonna have his hands down a little bit. But he's so focused on flowing that his head movement is just gonna be, it's just gonna be there for him to avoid all those punches. And I don't think it's talked about enough. He's 31-5 now. What a great record to have. I think Jamal Hill's next fight will probably be Rakic, or Jan Blachowicz, probably, which I think are two winnable fights for Jamal Hill. Because I want Jamal Hill to stay on the top of the division. I don't want to see him go on a loss streak, and I don't want to see bad things happen to Jamal. I just think it's Yuri's time right now. Does he get the third fight against Alex Pereira? I think so. I think the UFC gives it to him after the. Well, we'll have to see how he does against Magomed Ankalaev, which, in case you haven't heard, Alex Pereira, Magomed Ankalaev is going to be happening in March, which is crazy. They do not let Alex Pereira get any sort of breaks. Anyways, Jamal Hill picked him to win round KO, round 1 KO, round 2, but Yuri gets it done round 3. So I'm willing to take an L for my pick here if Yuri ends up winning, especially by the way he did. Just absolute craziness. Great fight from both of them. Moving on. First time I've cheered this hard for Merab, honestly, because most of the time I've been cheering against him. If I'm going to be completely honest, I don't think there's been any fight where I've cheered for Merab in any way. But this fight, man, this was a great fight for Merab. This is probably the most entertaining he has ever been in his fights. Just next level as far as the grappling goes. He was able initially. I think he got taken down by Umar. It was either in the first round and I think he got taken down again in the second round, but it wasn't very long. And then I think towards the end of the second round, Umar's whole demeanor started changing. He really started taking some deep breaths. And then third round, even more so. Every time it would cut to the corner, Merab would be in his corner, bouncing up and down, all ready to go. Like, he's already ready to go at it. And Umar's sitting down there. Khabib's running the ice on his chest, massaging him, shaking out the arms. His coaches were literally shaking out his arms and running the lactic acid from his biceps, just showing all the signs of being tired. And Merab took that and just used it against him completely. He got so many great single leg dumps. This guy is one of the best single leg dumpers in the UFC other than Daniel Cormier. Dude is able to get single legs. He does exactly what he's supposed to do. Run the momentum one way and then dump the momentum down and just puts Umar on his butt multiple times. Absolutely crazy that he thought he won that fight. Absolutely insane Umar thought he won that fight. You did not win that fight. You were nowhere close to winning that fight. Was it kind of close? I don't even think it was that close, honestly. I think he maybe won round 1. You could say he won round 2. Give him round 1 and 2. But 3, 4, and 5, all Merab. All Merab. Merab did whatever he wanted to him during those 3, 4, and 5 rounds. He was clowning on him, which is great. I love seeing him showboat against Merab. Umar. I don't know why I get their names confused so much, but it was literally one of the moments where Umar was behind him and trying to drag him down, and Merab was just standing up and going like, You can't take me down. You can't get me. And there was multiple times too where Merab kind of did that. He was like, "Oh, is that all you got?" You know. There's a really funny moment where Merab's pointing at Umar as he just like he did a weird takedown where uh Umar ended up like falling backwards and doing kind of like a backwards roll or whatever, and Merab was pointing at him during it. And the picture of it is absolutely hilarious. I'll have to try to find the picture and maybe post it on my. I think I have already have it posted on my Instagram. Let me see if I can do that real quick. Yes, this right here. I know you can't see it entirely well, but um, absolutely hilarious. Honestly, it's one of my favorite moments of the fight. Get humbled, Umar and Khabib. Get humbled, brother. Brother, you are not number one, brother. Brother, Dagestani grappling is not number one anymore, brother. Georgian wrestling, brother. Brother, Georgian wrestling number one now, brother. I hope Umar removes his last name, honestly. No, I'm just kidding. Umar's gonna get a lot of shit talk, which is great. I love all the Khabib fans coping. Umar, Umar hurt his hand in round one. Umar broke his hand in round one. If you broke your hand in round one, you wouldn't be able to do much either. Merab had an infected gash on his leg. He had also an injured back apparently as well from the post fight. He was not even at 100%. So let's throw out all excuses of injuries, pre-fight, during fight, throw out all of that. Because at the end of the day, Umar got sunned just like Payne Talbot did with the grappling. Got absolutely sunned, tossed around, did whatever he wanted to him. And, you know, a lot of the Khabib fans, unfortunately, are going to be, not unfortunately, for me, fortunately, they are going to be coping very hard, coming up with all the excuses in the book to be like, well, Umar, blah, 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 this, blah, 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 should have gone to Umar. The fact that he raised his hand at the end of the fight, too, just shows the humbleness of them. You know, they just, oh, can't have no possibility of losing. Oh, alhamdulillah, brother. I do not know what the judges are thinking. What did you see during rounds 3, 4, and 5? 3, 4, and 5. What did you see? You know, I think Khabib um is gonna be talking a lot too online after this. Blah blah blah. We had to camp this. Blah blah blah. There's some sort of thing like that. The excuses are going to be coming in for the Khabib team. The last thing they are going to do is admit Merab's wrestling was better. He was the better fighter that night. They're gonna say Umar had an off night. Umar normally doesn't do, you know, doesn't go like this. Oh, the altitude, blah blah blah, the climate. They're gonna come up with thousands of excuses to explain why Umar lost that fight. So I'm really happy Merab won. Consider me a Merab supporter now. I don't care if he takes down a guy and holds him there and doesn't throw one single punch. Okay, guess what? I like Merab enough now to where that I'm just happy that he's winning. So even if that means he's holding on to a leg the whole fight and just squeezing onto it, whatever. And there has to be something talked about the body language too of Umar versus Merab. Umar was just sitting like just, you know, hands on his hips. You know, there was a lot of moments when he was getting backed up by Merab, he was going, oh, gotta deal with this guy again, jumping all over me. And Merab was just the whole time bouncing up and down, ready to go, ready to throw a takedown strike. He was landing some good strikes too. I don't think that's talked about enough. He was landing some good shots in there. They didn't look that devastating, but they were some good shots. Umar definitely had a slight advantage as far as the striking goes. He was slightly more dynamic than Merab, but Merab's gas tank, that it needs to be studied. They need to find out like why his lungs can just, I don't know what it is, if they can expand more or if they're better at just like contracting in and out, if it's his heart, like what is it he eats, what is it that he drinks, because he's the machine is built different. He's truly living up to his moniker, the machine. I think honestly one of the most perfect fitting nicknames for a fighter. So I'm really happy Merab won. I had him by decision. I can't tell you how happy I was. I was I was kind of like, man, I should have just gone with Umar. I should have picked the smart pick and just gone with Umar. But man, I had the strongest gut feeling that Merab was gonna do what he normally does against everyone else. Because I was like, well, Umar's never been, like chased down by someone like Merab before. And it was just in my mind the whole time. I could just see Merab, just holding Umar up against the cage in a double leg position. But he did more than that. He dumped Umar to his butt multiple times with either a single leg or a blast double, or some other takedown. He took him down, I believe, 7 times, if not more. So absolutely crazy. So happy it could be family lost. Not a part of Father's plan at all. I'm not trying to come off as like the biggest hater against the Khabib whole family and team against and stuff like that. They're definitely really good. They're definitely going to go in the Hall of Fame and history and all that stuff for being very dominant and good fighters and stuff. The problem I have with them is that they just, Islam has some charisma. He's a little bit funny, but at the same time, they don't promote like at all. I'm sorry, they just don't promote. And when when they are promoting, they just go, brother, I am best in the world, brother. I am most humble, brother. And I hate this whole notion of being humble when all you've done is win. And we've never really seen them go like, well, he was the better, anyone can win on a crazy night. Anyone could get hit by something and stuff like that. And I feel like their fan base and them are just like, nothing stops us. We're a completely unstoppable force. And for the most part, they're pretty true. But when they get proven wrong, boy, the cope is so hard. I was just going into Instagram comment sections and just seeing so many Dagestani fans coping. I loved it. I loved it so much. I'm so happy of it. I don't care if you don't like me because I'm not a Dagestani fan or whatever, or if you're a hardcore Dagestani fan and you don't like my overall opinion of them, whatever. I don't care, honestly. I think for the most part, I kind of like Islam Makhachev. I'm not saying I super like his personality. He has some okay moments, but overall, I want to see them lose. Who does like if you're a real fight fan, why would you just want someone to be completely undefeated and never tested and absolutely perfect? That's not fun in any. I don't know like I don't know. That's not fun. That's like watching, I'm trying to make a relation to this, but like watching the same outcome and wanting the same. Yes, he's gonna get submission round 1, brother, every single time against another opponent. Same thing over and over again. And it's like, how is that fun or entertaining, guys? Honestly, I don't see how it is. So I like seeing the underdogs win. I like seeing people. I like seeing Merab overcome the impossible because I think a lot of people were counting him out for that fight. But yeah. Anyways, Merab gets the decision. Let's go. Let's go with the machine. Hope one day maybe I can interview Merab or get to meet up with him. That'd be really great. Seems like a really cool guy. I've completely changed my opinions on Merab. I used to really not like him. I used to really cheer against him, but now you are a top fighter for me, brother. Top fighter. Anyways, on to the next one. What did we expect, honestly? Islam versus Moicano. I thought Moicano was going to have a slightly better showing. He tapped a little bit too fast for my liking, if I'm going to be completely honest. I know Islam's got one hell of a choke, and he was probably extra pissed because Umar lost. So he had that angry, special strength, let's just say that. And, yeah, he got Moicano down. Moicano, I don't know if it was a slip or if it was a slight knockdown, but when Moicano landed that punch, and he was either a slip or he got actually knocked down. But Moicano seemingly dropped Islam in one of those exchanges. I was like, things are gonna change. Moicano's gonna start ramping up the momentum. Islam's not ready for this, and then gets him down. Gets that dark stroke that he's known for, and just unfortunately Moicano taps. Patty Pimblett said something which I kind of like, which is like, just go to sleep. Like, go to sleep. Go out on your shield. Honestly, I know a lot of people are gonna be like, why you don't need to lose brain cells and stuff like that. But I mean, Armin Sarukian. I can think of Armin Sarukian, Volkanovski. Those are two. Well, in those fights where they were getting choked out and stuff like that, you have a chance to possibly, move your neck around or get a little bit of movement in there to get a little bit of breathing in. But I don't know. I wasn't put in the Darce choke, so I don't know how hard it was. Maybe it was one of those things where it felt hard enough to where it felt like maybe something was gonna break. Because I feel like that's the case with the Islam and other, Caucasus Mountain fighters or whatever. When they put their arms around your neck or your head or whatever, it probably feels like your jaw or neck is gonna get broken. So that's where the tapping comes from. But yeah. Anyways, Islam gets it done, round 1 submission. I had him by TKO round 2 or round 3, because I thought maybe that it would take him. I thought Moicano would be able to last a little bit longer, but then I should have stuck with my gut feeling and been like, nah, Islam's just gonna ragdoll him round 1 and get it done, which ended up happening, unfortunately. He did have a good showing out though. Moicano really did. He did have a good showing. No, wait, why did I say that? Islam had a really good showing. Did his thing. Yeah, I mean, what more else is there to talk about? They're gonna book it, Armin to fight. Either I think they give. I was gonna say Benilo Dariush to Armin, but then again, that wouldn't make much sense. I'm trying to think who they can have Armin fight for another title contention. Maybe they do a Fiziev fight, a Rafael Fiziev. Maybe they do him. Maybe they do Oliveira again. Maybe they do Oliveira Armin too. But as far as for Islam right now, I don't know who would challenge him at lightweight at the time being. We had Ilya comment and say that he wants to fight Islam and move up to 155, but I want to see maybe Islam move up to 170. I think he should fight Bilal Muhammad. I think that's the next step. I think Islam fights Bilal Muhammad and takes his belt away from Bilal Muhammad. I'm just kidding. They won't fight each other. But yeah, kind of tough for what's next for Islam, what he's gonna do. Great win from him. Kind of takes away how big the win is though. If it was against Armin, if he did that against Armin, there would be absolutely like no question at all. All right, he's pound for pound number 1. And there's still kind of, there's a strong reason for why he's pound for pound over John Jones. John Jones would never take a fight like this on 1 day's notice. Not gonna happen. Not gonna happen with John like that. But I think that's why he's getting that pound for pound status right now, is because he took the fight on short notice, and Dana was like, "Yep, you saved the event. I have nothing to argue against that. You saved the event." And I hope Moicano got paid a decent amount as well. Sucks to see him lose. I think his bounce back fight is probably going to be Patty after Patty and Chandler. So yeah, we'll see how it goes for him. Again, sucks Moicano lost. Anyways, that's everyone on the card. I hope you guys enjoyed the stream. I realized that my cam microphone was on, so that's probably why it sounded all echoey and stuff, but I have it fixed now. So streams are going to be much better in quality. The timer is going to be actually accurate to when I set it next time. I'm going to get that all tuned. I'm going to get my alert box all tuned, because I was getting subscribers and stuff, but I wasn't I wasn't getting the notification for it or whatever. So yeah, I'll make sure to try to get that fixed and see what I need to do about that. But anyways, thank you guys for watching. Appreciate you for coming along with me and watching the videos. I really do appreciate it. I hope to keep growing. I want to one day, or not one day, I want to one day get to, let me reword this. I want to, by the end of the year, hopefully get to 500, if not like 750 subscribers. I think that's very possible. I think, I'm gonna say 1,000 subscribers. I think 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year is a goal I can reach for. And if you guys keep liking, commenting, and watching my videos, it really helps out a lot. I'm really trying to grow this, so I appreciate everyone's time and contributions to helping me out. I really appreciate it. So thank you again for watching. Hope you guys have a great day. See ya. Almost see ya. Get the mouse over here. A little bit late to light, but anyways, see ya.